Good evening, hail stalkers. Meteorologist Martin Loudmore here. Hope you guys are having a good evening. Kind of just wanted to pop in real quick just to give you guys a little bit of an update of what we're seeing right now. We haven't really done anything for the past couple hours, and really there's kind of a reason for that. This has kind of been petering down pretty quickly. Now, the thing is that we did have already a decent amount of reports. We actually had a pretty decent windstorm in Chicago. But, I said windstorm, not hailstorm. These storms linearized very quickly as we got into this early afternoon. We did have a brief moment in time where we did have some hail, and we still are seeing some hail. Maybe not in the exact place we were expecting to see the most significant hail, but we are getting hail nonetheless. So let's kind of get an idea of what we're looking at right now, just the 1,000-mile view. We've got severe thunderstorm watches in Minnesota, Wisconsin, parts of Indiana, the eastern edge of, why am I losing the name? Michigan. Why did I forget that? And also into eastern Illinois. Meanwhile, we've got a tornado watch that's included parts of western Illinois, northwestern Illinois, parts of also Iowa and Missouri. Now, the one place I want to look at closely is actually Kansas. Now, they weren't completely out of the threat risk, but they were kind of maybe in the backyard of the threat risk. So that was really what we were watching for, maybe the possibility of a few of these storms going severe, but maybe I wouldn't really say probably being the biggest threat as we got into this evening and overnight, that's for sure. So let's switch over to our more in-depth radar. This is pretty close to Kansas City, but I actually want to look at Topeka. Topeka, you're seeing a storm that's got warned for 2-inch hail right now. Yeah, that's a pretty significant little hailstorm right there they got going on. Junction City, this is also just outside, I believe, of Manhattan. Yes, Manhattan's actually under a warning too for 1.75-inch hail. That is that golf ball sized hail. Now, I put out a post earlier today saying that Kansas City is probably going to be seeing these storms coming in pretty soon, but these storms are moving very slow. When I made that post, they're moving about 45 miles an hour. They've now gone down to 20, 30 miles an hour. Across Junction City and Topeka. I think it's going to be a little tough for Kansas City to get these storms. And actually, we did have models that did exactly this. They split the storms up to the north and split the storms to the south. Kind of think of it as a Kansas City bubble, really. Let me know where you guys are from, and I can get you guys a forecast for exactly where you guys are. That's kind of why I'm here, just to see if you guys need anything and you need a forecast specific to where you are, or just an update on what you're looking at. So that 1,000-mile view, we take away the watches. We actually see we're kind of petering down on even just warnings. We have a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings in northeast Ohio, parts of eastern Michigan, also parts of central Illinois. A little bit more of a significant one here. This is for wind. Yes, it is for 70-mile-an-hour wind. So that's going to be the one watching mainly for that wind. Now, coming down closer to Kansas, this is where we're looking for most of those hail. Best chance for hail today. Where is that going to be for today? Well, right now, at least I can tell you right now, this is going to be parts of eastern Kansas. It's actually had decent reports already. 2-inch hail just outside of McPherson. This is near Hutch. Also right to the south of Manhattan. They've had a couple tornadoes, actually. What's up for North OKC? North KC. I apologize. Not North OKC, but North KC. Right now, you're not really seeing much, and I want to say you guys are probably going to be missing out on a lot, if not pretty much all of the storms. Now, I could see a stray storm moving its way into Kansas City, but for right now, I just don't see these storms really. They're splitting up, and the models did show this earlier. I'm actually going to pull up a model real quick and see if we can take a quick peek and see if they're still saying that right now. So this is our pivotal weather. This is what we use pretty frequently. So let me get a little bit closer. Get ourselves into that model. We want to get a little closer. We want to get towards Kansas City. So yeah, that model right there doesn't really have it. This is the most recent model run. So let's see how far it goes. Only about 2 hours. No. There we go. Yeah, I mean it's got some of the storms that are still rolling through as of right now, but it's not doing a great job at really showing the models. The problem is that we don't have as many soundings as we used to out in the Rockies, and it's kind of made our models degrade a decent bit, and that's not exactly the greatest thing ever, for obvious reasons. Models start getting a little bit less good, really, honestly. Was Salina affected today? I'll check real quick. So yeah, the most recent full model run does show there are some storms that tried to make it Kansas City, but it's going to be tough. I really do think it's going to be hard for these storms to really make their way into there. If they are going to be in there, it's going to be super late at night when you see those storms. So let's back up a little bit. Doesn't look like Salina. I mean, I hope Salina doesn't get hit again. You guys have dealt with enough over the past 2 weeks. Looks like you guys had a couple of those storms that tried to roll through, but most of those, looks like they gained their intensity as they left the city. Wasn't any reports. Was that a hailer? I'm guessing it was a hailer. It was a hailer for golf ball size, but let's see. I have local storm reports on, so there was no reports in Salina. But man, you guys have just been basically bullied by Mother Nature the past couple of weeks. I mean, you had that big hailstorm, you had another one that was not too long ago, and then you had the creme de la creme 113-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Man, you guys are tough over there in Salina. I've got to say for that. I see a couple asking about California around here. You guys are not going to be expecting much. As of right now, you guys are pretty much, what's the saying? Sunny and 75? I doubt it's sunny and 75. Well, hold on. Let me look. Is it? Be hilarious. Oh, got to pull on this real quick. Foggy. Smoky. And then a little bit of rain. And then temperature 72. I'll take it. Yeah, it seems like you guys are doing pretty good right now. Leawood, Kansas. You guys are going to be testing my geography on this one again. Let me pull it up. Leawood, Kansas is just to the south of Kansas City. Okay. Yeah, again, like Kansas City, these storms are making their way. Let me actually advance in time. There we go. These storms are gravitating toward Kansas City right now, but it's the current trajectory of a lot of these storms are just not really conducive of really wanting to get into Kansas City. That's kind of the issue right now. So the biggest problem is I just don't know if these storms can make it because we're already, I think the sun is set. Yeah, the sun's past set already. It's 9:03 here in Edmond. So we're not going to really see a lot of these storms doing much of anything other than beginning to linearize. Now, these are these tail-end Charlies that we call them. And these storms do pack a punch because they're normally the only ones that have proper inflow. You look at these storms up here, they can't pull in proper inflow because, well, they got another storm behind them. That's the problem with a lot of these lines of storms, that they don't really have proper inflow. Moving a little bit further away, we've got some of these wind reports. 48 in Cleveland, 53 just outside of Cleveland. Imagine that is roaring for 60 miles an hour and just under your quarter-sized hail. But we got that tornado warning that's currently active. This is just to the south of Manhattan. Although Manhattan yourself, you are also warned for golf balls and 70 miles an hour. Let's back up again to our more in-depth radar real quick and get a better idea. We'll pull up our correlation coefficient on the right here. This kind of gives us we can peek into the storms and see where the hail actually is. So we got these storms. You must be expecting it to spread southward. That's why they've got Cottonwood Falls and almost Emporia in that severe thunderstorm warning right there. They got the tornado warning up to the north. That's over in Council Grove, DeLaven, Wisey, Latimer, Junction City. You're in that warning as well, but you're already on the other side of the main bulk of it. Another tornado warning just near Wichita. This one could gravitate into Wichita. No, it's moving. It is moving almost straight eastward. Could take a southerly turn. It's almost parked. Look at that. Just right over Saxman, just not wanting to budge. Moving southeast at 10. That is dreadful. Oh, man. Saxman, I'm sorry. Golf ball sized hail, 70-mile-an-hour winds. McPherson, you're probably seeing a good little bit of this. Let's take a volumetric. This is kind of all on its own. I'll take the volumetrics of these. Ooh, look at that beautiful anvil there. Oh, yeah, that is a perfect example of a supercell if I've ever seen one. Look at that anvil on both sides. I guess that's what happens when the storms just don't move. Wow, that looks great. Hopefully it gets a move on. Incredible. See it overshooting top. We're at like, let's see, that anvil's at 40,000 feet. We're probably reaching upwards to, yeah, we're getting more than likely getting up to over the stratosphere on this one. Wowzers. That overshooting top is insane. Overshooting top basically is when these updrafts get so strong they break past what we call, it is called the equilibrium level, EL, and it's usually what we call as our cloud tops, but these updrafts are so strong they break through that equilibrium level. And so that's not permanent, so it's not like a constant thing up there, but you can see that little ice cream cone, basically, or the ice cream scoop on top of it. Oh, we need to get another one. Decent amount of hail out of this one right here. This is not warned for hail, actually. The other one's one for golf balls. So we haven't had any big reports lately. Let's see, I have my reports turned off. I got a couple reports, 1 inch, another 1 inch, tornado reports. This was 120 UTC. That's about 40 minutes ago? Yeah, about 40 minutes ago. Funnel cloud. It's moving southward. Let's take this out. Download a couple more frames. Oh, yeah. Back up even more. Was that the tornado warning? Yeah, that was a tornado warning. It was shortly a reported tornado. Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to tell on the radar. Was it confirmed by spotters or was it? No, it was confirmed by radar. Huh. All right, back over to Topeka. Yeah, still, it looks like it's going to pass mostly south of the city, but it's still warned for 2-inch hail. Problem is that it's lost a lot of its organization. Less pinks are starting to show up, meaning that the reflectivity is much lower. So there's a couple of those larger debris signatures just south of the city. Again, these storms are just moving so unbearably slow. What if we can actually get let me see if I can get a Kansas camera pulled up. Can drive. Can drive, I hope it can. Topeka. A lot of accidents going on in Topeka. Not good. Let's see, where is this at? This will be rainy. Nothing wild going on, though. We got east and westbound in Topeka shut down. For what reason? Is it recent or is it just construction? It is construction. Never heard of construction shutting down an entire interstate. New report, 1.5-inch hailer. Is it a new report? No, it's not. We did have that 2-inch report not too long ago. That appeared to be our biggest report of the day. I believe so. I don't think we've had any larger. We actually had some reports coming out of all places, Minnesota. They had a decent amount of those storms. That was a wild one for sure. No, this has been definitely a wind event. Looking at the reports for today, we have had 297 wind reports and only 54 hail reports, with only 8 of those hail reports being large hail. We did have a tennis ball size report, again in Minnesota of all places. Yeah, 2 inches has about been our maximum for today. We did have that 1 2.5-incher, but beyond that, it's just been 2 inches the entire day. Right, and there's nothing going on. Sorry to tell you. Nothing going on at the homestead. I'm trying to figure out exactly where I can get a better view out toward Topeka. They've dropped off that warning down to 1-inch hail. Yeah, I figured they would with how much the reflectivity has dropped off on it. I'm not surprised. Watching from Missouri. I know you. I think you guys are out of the risk for today. Yeah, you're way too far south, though. I think you could get some tomorrow. Good possibility you could get some tomorrow. I'll let you know later. All right, let's see. Trying to pull up a camera real quick, but right now most of the cameras in Topeka are dead. Yeah, it's like all of them that are, well, there's one. So over on I-470, as soon as I pull it up, the camera dies. You gotta be kidding. Had some lightning on it earlier. This is over on I-470, Gage Boulevard. This is south of Wichita. Yeah, some decent lightning going on over there. But I am probably going to be wrapping it up pretty soon. For one reason, they have dropped this warning down to now only 1-inch hail, which is just marginally severe. So we're not looking at, 2-inch hail, which absolutely was taking, a huge attention for me. I am going to be continue watching it just because if these storms do try to trend into Wichita, which we did not have on our plate, that's for sure. But Kansas City, which we did have on our plate, but was kind of, I don't want to say a stretch, but was definitely one of the last places I was expecting to be seeing hailers. I was expecting more of a wind event. So I am going to be probably wrapping this up pretty soon. Other reason, I pulled the pizza out of the oven about 10 minutes ago, and I smell it. So I'm probably going to want to dig into that pizza before it gets too cold. But again, most of those are seeing mostly just wind as of right now. Now, as you go further south into Kansas, we are seeing some hailers still. Again, this about, $1.50, $1.75. Well, get your golf ball and ping pong sized hailstones. So they're still there. We are still looking at those tail and Charlies, those hailers moving through. There's also still those 2 tornado warnings that are ongoing right now, but luckily no confirmed tornadoes currently in Wichita. Salina, those of you that are braving the brave, strong city of Salina, I think your severe threat's done for today. So Thank goodness you guys are finally over with some severe weather. I know you guys are kind of probably tapped out when it comes to severe weather, wind and hail and everything else Mother Nature's thrown at you. So I'm going to be wrapping it up here, guys. Hope you have a good rest of your day. If anything does pop on in probably the next 45 minutes, I'll probably be hopping on just to update you guys again after 10 o'clock. It really just depends on if we're going to be seeing something pretty substantial. Probably only going to be Kansas City if they do get anything. So I will be keeping you guys up to date on what we'll be seeing for the rest of the evening. Of course, you'll be catching us tomorrow at noon on all of our Hail Trace platforms. We got that noon show that we will be showing you guys and going over another day of severe weather. I might as well just quickly go over that before we do talk about it. It's kind of more of the same. I don't want to say completely, but we are going to be seeing a good portion of the nation that is already seeing the storms right now. Going to be seeing more of these storms. So a little bit of a shift to the east, but Chicago, Milwaukee, St. Louis, you're barely on that cusp of it. Springfield, Illinois, not Springfield, Missouri. Now, Missouri is kind of included in it. But the biggest thing is that this is not going to be a big hail threat. There will be hail, but the big thing is a wind threat. What was that on my shoe? But they've actually bumped down the wind threat. The wind threat was a 45% before. Oh, yeah. They bumped down the wind threat a little bit. Interesting. Tornado is a big threat as well. This almost includes Des Moines. It includes Peoria, Hannibal, that is in northeast Missouri, and just on the outskirts of Chicago and Milwaukee. So probably tornado threat's going to be your biggest thing. It's at level 3 out of 5. Wind is also level 3 out of 5. Hail is only a 2 out of 5. These storms are expected to linearize pretty quickly. So hail is going to be not impossible, but tough to get that significant hail for tomorrow. So just keep it in mind. Severe threat, absolutely not going anywhere, even as we get into our day 3, which is going to be your Friday. I think we're still going to be seeing a good wind threat across the East Coast. At this point in time, I think that hail is going to be really hard to get. Just historically, East Coast doesn't get a ton of hail. And then as you head into, what this storm is probably going to be giving us, it's almost going to be completely linear. Though, as we get into day 4, that is going to be your Saturday, if the website loads. Day 4, we're back in the plains again. This includes Kansas City, Omaha, a lot of these areas that have already kind of been seeing plenty of these storms so far already this year. Going to be seeing more of them. So this will be your Saturday. Don't believe they update anything. Doesn't look like it beyond that day 4. So we could still see more storms. It's just predictability is a little bit low. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you at least by noon tomorrow. Again, we could pop in here if Kansas City does probably end up getting something later on. So just don't go anywhere. Hail Trace will keep you guys covered with these storms all week long.